Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Scott Luton and Kim Reuter here with you on Supply Chain Now. Welcome to today's live stream. Hey, Kim, how you been?
I've been great. Thank you. I just came back from the great state of Georgia, so I'm doing amazing.
Outstanding. I heard you were down there on Jekyll Island, the lands of the rich and famous,
Famous.
making it happen down there, Kim, huh?
Not really making it happen, just making it chill and relaxing. It was a beautiful place. Highly recommend it. We went to the Georgia Turtle Rescue. That was fabulous to see where all they take care of all the sea turtles. So
I love that. Been there, love that. And it's a gorgeous part of the world for sure. So, and you know what? When you make it happen all the other time, it's good to take a little break from moving mountains. So, Kim, it's awesome. Well, folks, you know it's The Buzz, where every Monday at 12 noon Eastern Time, we discuss a variety of news and developments across global supply chain and business. News that matters is what we like to call it. And, folks, The Buzz is powered by our friends at AutoScheduler AI, who's on a mission to make your warehouse operations smarter, more efficient, and adaptable. You can learn more at autoscheduler.ai. And we got a lot of good stuff to get into here today. So, Kim, we're going to be talking manufacturing as we're in manufacturing month all month long in October. We're going to be taking a look at those big reshore wins, I guess, to come, and how Intel's $28 billion investment in Ohio is coming along. It might surprise a few folks, or maybe not. Hey, how does the government shutdown impact global supply chains? Well, stay tuned. We're going to get into all that and a whole bunch more. And Kim, we got, if having Kim Reuter on the show here in The Buzz isn't big enough, we've got another great guest today. Rich Bulger with All Things Circular is back by popular demand. Kim, all told, should be a great addition of The Buzz, huh?
It's going to be a great one, as always.
I agree. So, folks, two things before we get going. Number one, give us your take in the comments, whether you're tuned in via LinkedIn, YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch, no matter. Let us know what you think. Just like Leah Kim via LinkedIn. Leah, let us know where in the world you are tuned in from. And Trisha she's already on top of it, sharing helpful links. Trisha, big thanks to you and Amanda, helping to make production happen every single day. Secondly, folks, if you enjoy the show, share it with your friend, your family, your friends, your networks, you name it. Aunt Edna up in Idaho, whatever. I'd be glad you did. Okay, Kim, are you ready? We got a couple things to get to before Rich joins us. Did you eat your Wheaties and you hanging on to your socks and all?
I did.
Okay. Let's do this. I got 3 or 4 things to hit before Rich joins us. The first one is our latest edition of With That Said, which published over the weekend, fresh off the heels of Manufacturing Day, which was last Friday. We shared a few data factoids on one of my favorite industries. That's right. The manufacturing industry, as you can see right here, is critical to the global economy. Here in the U.S., for first quarter 2025, the industry contributed almost 10% of total GDP. How about that? It's cool. It is cool.
It's very good. It's been bigger before, but it's a solid number, and I think we should be pretty excited about it. Hopefully that number is going to go up.
I agree. I like how you think, as always. And speaking of kind of a current pulse check, and we included this, and with that said, y'all can check it out. The domestic manufacturing industry has been in a little bit of a malaise. The ISM manufacturing PMI showed slight overall contraction in September, with new orders slipping and employment showing continued weakness. Now, on the other hand, the global manufacturing PMI, which is reported by S&P Global, showed a little bit of growth. Hot markets included Thailand and India. Beyond the manufacturing metrics, we also included a great guest blog from our friend Bart DeMont, focused on freight audit and payment, aka FAP. We love our acronyms and supply chain. We also included interesting reads from Blue Crux and InterSystems, and always we included tons and tons of our upcoming live events and lots of other resources. So, Kim, it was jam-packed, big edition. What one thing stood out to you?
So U.S. manufacturing, we all want for that to grow. We're going to talk about that a little bit more later in the podcast on some deep dives on what's going on. 10%, it's okay. Like I said, it's not as high as it's been in the past, but we'll take it. We're also seeing manufacturing globally shift. We call that India and Thailand. I think that is a direct relationship to these shifts in tariffs, the targeting of the China industry and manufacturing with our higher tariffs specifically for those countries. So I think Thailand and India have been benefiting from that. Obviously, India is in a bit of a lurch now again. But that's what we're seeing. And then as far as slowing in manufacturing or orders in the United States, we're coming up on Q4. We're coming up on the holidays. So normally we do kind of see ordering slow while inbound is picking up. So, I mean, it's fairly normal. Yeah, it's not great, but it's not bad.
I'll take it, and I'll take fairly normal. I'd love to live in fairly normal time.
For a little while.
Good stuff. Good stuff, Kim, as always. And folks, check it out. Trisha has dropped a link to With That Said. Now, listen, if you want to get an almost weekly pulse check on top stories, on upcoming live shows where we invite you to share your voice and kind of what we're doing here at Supply Chain Now, subscribe to With That Said. You'll be glad, hopefully, that you did. Now, ask and they shall deliver. Leah tuned in from up your former neck of the woods.
Formal neck of the woods, yes. Yay.
Beautiful Seattle, Washington. Mm-hmm. Great to see you, Leah. And give us your take on these topics we're talking about here today. Okay, speaking of Kim, and we've already spoken of this too. He's always on the move. Kim is keynoting. She's helping companies grow and overcome this new never normal these days. Mm-hmm. Speaking of events all around the world, but lately, Kim, I think you've been working a ton on your podcast called The Morning Mood.
Yes.
And helping folks in the seafood industry find a better path forward. Tell us more.
Yeah, so Morning Mood is going along really well. Going through a rebrand, which is super exciting because I feel like I do this for other companies all the time and never get to do it for myself. Yeah. So that will be coming out soon. I don't want to let any cats out of the bag, but the word supply chain will actually be in the title now. So I'll be a little bit clearer about what we're talking about. So that's been really good. And as you said, I'm back in the oyster game again. And this time around, it's pretty exciting. I'm working with a 135-year-old oyster company. And they've got an amazing, extremely unique product that I'm excited to bring to the market.
Okay, outstanding. That's quite a pair. Helping oysters and the oyster industry and delivering homegrown stuff on podcasts. But we'll take them. Great life, huh?
Yep.
Let's see here. And Trisha is dropping the link to, she's saying hello to Felicia. I'm going to do that in a second. But Trisha's dropping a link to The Morning Mood. It's going to be Supply Chain Live, so check it out there on YouTube. Now, Felicia is one of our oldest and dearest friends. Felicia, great to see you via LinkedIn. She says, sunny Sacramento, hello from the National Retail Federation, the new home of the RLA, formerly the Reverse Logistics Association. Great to see you, Felicia, and hope this finds you well. Great to have you. Okay, let's see here. Kim, we need to put one more event, one event, one resource on folks' radars. Let's start with the event. Mm-hmm. Folks, mark your calendars as the Supply Chain and Logistics Summit is set for November 3rd and 4th in Westlake Village, California. That just sounds like a beautiful place, Westlake Village. Now, this event is an invitation-only premium summit bringing leading senior procurement executives and innovative suppliers and solution providers all together. The Supply Chain Logistics Summit content is aligned with key procurement challenges and interests, relevant market developments, and practical and progressive ideas and strategies adopted by successful pioneers. Love that. Folks, you can learn more at the link we're going to be dropping right there in the chat. You ever been to Westlake Village, California, Kim?
I have not. I have only ever been to LA, to be totally honest.
Really? We're going to have to exchange notes. I have not been to LA yet. Did you eat some good food while in LA?
It's always for work and conferences. So, yeah.
Whenever you get a chance to eat, right? Well, Trisha's dropping the link to your latest opportunity to visit California at the Supply Chain and Logistics Summit. And we have got, to confirm who this is, Shropshire. I think I'm saying it right this time. We'll get confirmed there, but great to see you here today. Looking forward to your take on the conversations. Andrew, I knew that was Andrew. Andrew, great to see you. Okay, one more thing. Folks, great news. We're about to bring on our guest, Rich Bulger, and he's bringing it with him today. He always brings it with him, much like Kim. But here is an outstanding piece of industry news that you've got to have on your radar, because our dear friend Keith Moore, with his AutoScheduler team, has decided to roll out a free warehouse agent to the whole market on October 7th, which is tomorrow. If you want help forecasting labor against demand, or analyzing load boards and thinking through labor shifts, or drafting comms for carriers, or crunching numbers and doing some data analysis, Hey, use the warehouse decision agent for free, and you can do it all in minutes rather than days. Do all that work in minutes rather than days. We're dropping a link so you can check it out right there. Kim, that is good news to me. How about you?
That's an excellent opportunity to see if you can make some optimizations.
It is, and get time back. You're making time, and we never get an opportunity to do that. All right, so y'all check that out. Trisha's dropping the link, and I got to correct myself, Kim. I mispronounce stuff all the time, and I did it again. I'm going to go back to Andrew. Shropshire, not Shropshire, Shropshire. And Andrew's told me this before. I'm sorry, Andrew. Sorry to let you down, but great to have you here today. Have you been to Shropshire, Kim?
I don't believe I have.
Okay.
I'm not even know where is it.
Well, we need to get a geography lesson. I've got a general idea, but let's see if Andrew let us know.
Respond. It feels British to me, but I don't know.
It definitely. All right. Well, we have a terrific guest joining us here on The Buzz, powered by AutoScheduler. Folks, you're going to love. Rich Bulger is a visionary leader and champion of sustainability in the reverse logistics and circular economy sectors. Now, he brings more than 20 years of experience to the table, having done big supply chain things for those titans known as Cisco with a C and Verizon. Now, Rich is the author of what some are calling the new Bible for the reverse logistics industry. I got my copy right here. I'm going to get Rich to sign for me one day when he invites me on a cool trip somewhere like Shropshire. That new Bible is called Going Circular, the Evolution of Reverse Logistics into a Competitive Weapon. He's also the creator of the Circular Logistics Masterclass, which he's delivered across the globe. Please join me in welcoming my friend, Rich Bulger, founder and Chief Circularity Officer of All Things Circular. Hey, Rich, how you doing?
What a great introduction. Thank you so much, Scott. Kim, great to see you.
Hi.
Hey, we try. And to have both of y'all on the same show, folks, we're going to be able to solve some problems today. So, Rich, welcome in. And Kim, we've been looking forward to this conversation, huh?
We sure have. It's one of my favorite topics.
Oh, excellent. All right. We're going to have a bonus buzz hour, it sounds like. But and Andrew's given us an 8 out of 10. Maybe in how I'm still mispronouncing it. But Andrew, let us know exactly where Shropshire is. And that's England.
Told you.
You're right. On the Welsh Marches. In the middle of nowhere, just how I like it. No neighbors. Hey, I like that.
Would you like one neighbor, Andrew? Just one, because you and I think a lot.
That's right. That is right. Rich, have you been to Shropshire?
I have not been to Shropshire, but I have been to a football match, UK football match in Wolverhampton. Okay. So I've been all over the UK lately, Scotland, Edinburgh. Got to take my family to see the castles there. Took a train to London. UK is one of my favorite places. It's a beautiful country.
Oh, wow.
Shropshire is on the must list vlog destination.
Okay, we're adding it. Andrew, you're officially added to Rich's blog destinations. Well, you know what? You're kind of beating me too. I got another fun warm-up question. We're talking about travel. I'll talk about food. So Kim and Rich, it is National Coaches Day. It's Australian Labor Day. It's World Architecture Day. But I want to dial it in on National Noodle Day. I just had pho, P-H-O, the great Vietnamese dish with my son, Ben. We've been eating it ever since I was in the Air Force, forever ago, Rich. And I could eat it every day. It's delicious. But I'm going to ask you all, starting with you, Rich, what is one of your favorite noodles dishes, and where do you get it?
Well, this one kind of hurts my heart because what I found at my age is I've got to live on a keto diet. So there's no carbs for me. So all this conversation is doing is making me hungry. But I do have to say that my favorite pasta, and I wish my door was open so my wife could hear me say it, but she makes the best lasagna I've ever had.
Okay.
If I could have one noodle dish, it would be her lasagna.
Oh, Rich, we're going to make sure she hears that. And that sounds delicious. Although lasagna is not my favorite Italian pasta dish, but Amanda makes a mean one too. Kim,
I actually like it cold. Like the
Really?
next day lasagna is better than the hot lasagna, in my opinion.
Okay.
It might be weird like that.
Kim, that's going to be tough to beat. What is one of your favorite noodles dishes?
I'm with you. It's pho. But I used to get it. I don't even know if this place is around anymore. I hope that it is. But when I lived in Seattle, I don't even know it had a name, but it was a little fuss stand in the Greyhound bus station in downtown Seattle. And they made hands down the best I have ever had in my life. And I have traveled everywhere. But those ladies were back there cooking at like 6 a.m. in the morning every day.
Oh.
Fantastic.
Man, that sounds delicious. It's always a hole in wall places, the unexpected places where you get the best.
It was kind of a little scary. Like it was, you're like, this place? Okay.
Well, if anything, if anything can overcome fear, it is a delicious bowl of pho. I'll tell you what. All right, Rich and Kim, now that we're all starving, I know what I'm getting for a dinner tonight. We got to get down to business. We got a lot to get to here on The Buzz, powered by AutoScheduler. I want to start with this. All those big investment commitments we've seen rolled out in the news, right, especially here in the U.S. Tons and tons of billion-dollar announcements, seems like, over the last year or so. However, as I've been trying to tell folks, every announcement doesn't mean thousands of new jobs is guaranteed to happen and come to fruition. Heck, just look at the Rivian story here in Georgia that I've been tracking for several years now, right? I won't beat that dead horse today. But check out this interesting read from the Wall Street Journal here recently. It focuses on a $28 billion investment by Intel, or announced investment by Intel, in New Albany, Ohio. So here's a few highlights. In 2022, Intel announced it was making a $28 billion investment to build 2 semiconductor factories, probably foundries, in New Albany, which is right outside of Columbus, right? The company said folks could expect 7,000 construction jobs and 3,000 new highly paid manufacturing jobs by 2025. Now, after changing CEOs and laying off about 30% of its workforce, the new plants in Ohio won't open before 2030, or, as I would say, if at all. That's the thing with these massive investments that are announced, right? Global market forces change and evolve so fast. And until I see folks getting a paycheck or production churning out new products and up and running, I'm a big skeptic. And one last thing here before I get Rich and Kim's thoughts. Look at this shot they had in the Wall Street Journal story. Cal's like, what the heck's going on? Look, all those construction cranes in the background. And evidently, they've been sitting idle for quite some time.
Oh, because those are cheap. Those are cheap to keep sitting around.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. They don't cost anything to just sit there. I'm being totally facetious.
Would they
cost thousands of dollars a day for cranes to just sit there?
And it doesn't make a real pretty picture, but
no.
I digress. All right. So, Rich, when you read this story and you're seeing all these big announcements get rolled out, your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like you do, Scott. There's a lot of things that are easy to say, tough to do, where companies go through and make these big, grandiose statements. But then when the economics fall apart, the tune changes. In my world, in the circular economy world, underneath the last administration, there was a big push for all things sustainable. ESG, circular economy, 2030 environmental commitments, all were made. And you saw all these titles pop up of recirculation programs and VPs of sustainability. And now that the administration has changed, you're starting to see those teams slowly get laid off.
Right.
And slowly people walking back or just not talking about pledges that they made before. So in my view, the economics of a circular economy, promoting reuse over recycling and doing it in a profitable way, finding out how to make money, not by making more things, but by maximizing the value of things that have already been made, is a much more impactful way to go through and make a difference than these commitments that sound great but fall apart when they're put under any stress.
Yeah. Good stuff there, Rich. Good stuff on a similar topic. Kim, what do you read into in these stories like this one?
Well, most of them are politically motivated at this point, unfortunately. And I would love to see manufacturing come back to the United States. I'm a big proponent of blue collar work and us bringing all that trade education back into the schools. But the fact of the matter is that in order to start manufacturing here in the United States, we have to have actual manufacturing facilities. And those facilities are going to come from overseas. And so we kind of have ourselves in a little bit of a catch-22 right now. So I'm hoping we can get through it, but I don't expect anything meaningful soon.
Yep. Kim, that's good stuff there. You and Rich both. And folks, we can relate. For those of you that may be tuned in from Georgia, especially the Atlanta area and all parts just east, Rivian is promising 7,000 jobs, and it's mega site, and it's been on hold for, they've broken ground twice now.
Yep.
But it's largely been on hold for a couple of years. And of course, we know that the EV market has been evolving fast. But I'll talk a lot about Rivian. It's interesting to see real status checks on where all these announcements are.
Actually,
28 billion. Oh my gosh. All right. So Trisha's sharing the story. Y'all go check out the Wall Street Journal. There's a lot more to it. And Trisha, you are based in Ohio. I'd love to get your take if you want to weigh in on your prognostications. They're going to come to fruition just like it promised. We'll see. All right. So from one tough topic to another, the government shutdown here in the U.S. So how is, excuse me, how does the U.S. government shutdown impact the global supply chain industry? Well, my friend Richard Howells is answering that question over at in his latest article over at Forbes. So let me unpack this a little bit. Richard makes a great point up front. Quote, no business does it alone, and we all rely on a network of suppliers, contract manufacturers, and logistics service providers, and a whole bunch more, where a local issue or delay quickly becomes global, end quote. It's a good one, Richard. Richard expects to see the shutdown to impact and cause regulatory delays and challenges with compliance. Think imports and exports, market volatility, even more costs due to workarounds that companies undoubtedly will be exploring, sustainability, and maybe even ethical concerns. Think animal shipments, because not all shipments can afford extra days or weeks held up in ports. It's a good read here, Richard and Forbes. So, Rich, how does the U.S. government shutdown impact global supply chains? Your thoughts?
So I'm going to take a look at it from the reverse logistics and the used market space, because one of the unintended benefits of a shutdown like this is when you have a supply chain that has a kink in it and new things aren't coming in. Laws of supply and demand, if the supply of products is used, it actually increases the value of used things because people need products to live their daily lives. We saw the same thing with COVID. When COVID shut down supply chains and things couldn't come into the country, this whole system of circular platforms matching used supply with used demand, oftentimes used things had a higher value than new things. Or when Texas had the ice storm a few years ago, used generators were selling for more than new generators because there weren't new generators to sell. So one of the unintended benefits of things like tariffs that increase the cost of goods or shutdowns where material doesn't flow, from a circular mindset, the value of used things is greater. And in the US, we have a really good infrastructure from a technology perspective to match supply and demand. So we're able to weather these things, I think, a little bit better than other parts of the world.
A lot of good stuff there, Rich. And I love getting, I bought the kids a remanufactured Nintendo Wii one year. And we got months and months of goodness out of that, especially Wii bowling. Man, a very competitive Luton family game of Wii bowling. All right, so Kim, U.S. government shutdown. I love Rich's perspective there on kind of the re-economy side of things. Your thoughts, Kim?
Well, I'm going to do something odd. I have actually more optimistic view than the article, and that's normally not my way. I normally have a more pessimistic view, but I read the article, and through we've modernized customs a little bit. A lot of stuff is automated now. Yes, we will see some slowdowns, but I don't think it's going to be as catastrophic as we think it is. I've been through a couple government and customs shutdowns through my career. And through a lot of the ACE modernization and the automation that happens, I think it will be less impactful than we expect. But if you do get pulled on a manual, it's going to take a while to get that through. I'm going to tell you right now. So keep it straight, keep your entries clean. You don't want to do anything to trigger any sort of exam right now.
That's excellent. Been there, done that perspective, Kim. And what's interesting, comparing and contrasting this shutdown versus some of those we've all maybe lived through in the past. This one may just be a little bit longer. I mean, I think they're going on, about a week, just under maybe. And the parties, they seem to be a bit more rigid in their positions.
They're just digging.
That's right, Kim.
We're going to see.
One of the things I'd love to see come from this is, and I've done a lot of work lately in cross-border e-commerce meetings. Did a show called Next E-commerce Supply Chain Hub in Hong Kong last year. They just did their one in Belgium a few weeks ago, where things are made, containered, shipped to the US, and then broken up and they go final mile. But if someone decides to return something or decides that, if it's undelivered for whatever reason, the reaggregation and shipping back to the country is tough. And a lot of times with a just keep it type of return program, the customers are told to keep it and discard it, or they're sold for pennies on the pound. But if there's a smart distribution system where those things that come over could be graded, categorized as new, and fulfilled from the US instead of the next one getting filled from overseas, it's cheaper. It's much more environmentally friendly. And in times of government volatility, having a resilient infrastructure that could go through and fulfill the next new thing when a product in new condition already lives here. I think the longer these types of shutdowns take place, the more creative companies are willing to become to invest in how to keep things in production.
Well said, Rich. To you and Kim, as promised, you're both on it here today. One last thing before we get into manufacturing in this next article, I want to call back out Felicia. So Felicia and the team, formerly RLA, now part of the NRF ecosystem, hosted a great private invitation-only leadership event back in Dallas last month. Rich and I both were there. And one of the interesting things that no one's thinking about, except for the operations themselves perhaps, is tariffs aren't only for forward logistics. All the returns and things coming back into different countries and this country, they got more tariff headaches there. Oh my gosh, you need an abacus or a modern equivalent of abacus to keep the numbers straight, or great resources information like the NRF. Okay, Rich and Kim, we are fresh off, as I shift gears, fresh off Manufacturing Day 2025 last Friday, and now we're celebrating manufacturing industry all month long in October, Manufacturing Month. One of the biggest topics at play in all industries, especially manufacturing, is workforce development and really overall talent management. Interesting read here in Manufacturing Dive, which touches on a few workforce training challenges and solutions out in the U.S. manufacturing industry. So Daryl Edwards, Kim, and Rich gets us started with a great comment, level-setting comment. He's a professor at the University of Tennessee, and he makes really an undeniable point when he says, quote, when a large share of the manufacturing base left the U.S. over the past few decades, many states and local communities began to de-emphasize skills and trade education at the high school level. His colleague and my friend Alan Amling shares an intriguing finding from their recent research on manufacturing and reshoring. Alan's quoted by saying, one of the unexpected findings in our research was the skills gap in trades, electricians, welders, carpenters, plumbers, masons, etc. If we're going to bring more manufacturing to the U.S., we need more people in the skilled trades, end quote. We've got a lot of work to do to truly revolutionize manufacturing in this country, and we got to keep it real with the challenges and the current reality that we face as we try to rebuild it. So, Rich, I know you're passionate about workforce development and education and training. Your thoughts on this workforce development challenge we got in the manufacturing industry here?
Yeah, and I'm going to focus on the remanufacturing and the reverse side, since that's
there's a trend developing here, Rich. There's a trend.
Yeah. No, and it just so happens, if you go through and scale just the U.S. economy, NRF says that the retail economy last year was a $5.2 trillion business. Unwinded returns, I changed my mind. I want my money back. Cost retailers $890 billion in sending things back. The size of the secondary market now, where people are matching used supply with used demand, also flowing through reverse logistics, where you assess cosmetic. What does it look like? Functional. How does it work? To help product go good, better, best to the next customer. Yeah. 800 billion. You add those two together, it's a $1.6 trillion impact to a $5.2 trillion reverse economy, retail economy, all flowing through reverse. I've been now in 6 different countries. We've taught 13 different master classes. We just did one at the Reverse Logistics Leadership Summit, where we had 43 industry leaders that do reverse every single day.
Yeah.
And I ask a question. I use a software program where people can go through and respond, and the answers fly up. How many people that are doing reverse ever took one formal course on reverse logistics? Not a college class that mentioned it as a paragraph or two.
I bet 0 hands.
But a formal course. How many were just thrown into the deep end to figure it out? How many shadowed someone? I didn't ask, if you're lucky, how many shadowed with someone that was good. How many are still trying to figure it out? And you're right. At the RLA Summit, the best of the best, there was no one that took a formal course. Now, doing this in 6 different countries, 13 events, I've only had one person ever say they took a formal course. And I recognized that person because he was one of my professors at the American Public University, which is the only college on the planet that I found that has a 4-year and master's degree program in reverse. It's one of the hardest parts of supply chain and logistics. I'm keen to look at the Supply Chain and Logistics Summit agenda, because if there's not reverse professionals there, I want to talk about it, because 1/2 of a product circular journey is moving away from the point of use. No one knows how to do it. At my old company, we had a charter school that was right next to our facility.
Yeah.
And we offered an intern program where we were able to go through, bring someone in for the remanufacturing, bring someone in for marketing, bring someone in for finance, because circular finance is different than your traditional manufacturing and distribution finance. But huge gap, huge problem. And we definitely need to invest in training on how to do this important part of a product's journey.
So I appreciate there's a massive problem touching all sorts of bites of this, the whole enchilada, including, of course, the wrinkle Rich spotlighted. Kim, if we're going to rebuild manufacturing here, how are we going to train? How are we going to have the workforce ready to explode in all these new jobs, huh?
Well, you're going to have to start to learn how to change oil again. In high school, and sew buttons, because that's what we learned when we were in high school. Yeah, we have to bring education back, the trade education. I live in a rural area in Virginia. Some of the people of my colleagues and my friends here are part of associations that are trying to get more mechanics, trying to get mechanic education. We can't get enough mechanics to work on the big equipment that we have here for the farming, and even for cars. I mean, just basic trade skills are becoming fewer and fewer. But there's a highlight here, because there was an article probably about 6 months or so ago. There is a school in Philadelphia that teaches welding as part of a high school program. And a kid out of there, his first job out of high school, no college debt, $70K.
Nice. I love that.
High school kid.
I love a good practical story. And we need to do more, just like that school did in Philadelphia, just like that now welding professional.
Yeah.
And to your greater point, we are, and it really starts, we got to go all the way upstream.
Yeah.
And parents, we've got to really be real about all the different ways that folks can find success, not all through a 4-year college degree, right?
Yeah.
It's all different, just like the example Kim put out there.
Yeah.
One quick tip, folks, because mechanics and maintenance professionals are in big time demand, the military, man, folks, the professional working on aircraft or tanks or whatever, if you're not leaning in and building a veteran pipeline, you are missing out. All right, really quick. T Squared says more field trips to factories give a good ground zero view of manufacturing's criticality in creating the things we need and the innovations in creating them. Domino Sugar in Baltimore did it for me. T Squared, love that. And let's see, Morgan MBA program pushed this in 2011. I think the field trip to factories and stuff. And he is glad that he went. I am too, T Square. We may not have met, and you may not be holding the fort down for us on YouTube had that not taken place. Felicia's also sharing NRF Rev, big event coming up in January in New York. So if you love, I bet Rich is going to be there. If you all love all things reverse and returns management, check it out. Okay, so Kim and Rich, we got a lot more, and I'm behind. Man, I am behind today. We're going to try to get it back on track. I got a couple resources I want to share with folks. Let's start with this. Folks, we've been covering the U.S. Bank Freight Payment Index for years. Kim, you've joined me on some of those shows.
Those are great shows.
It is. Lots of great actionable data at your fingertips, right? Now, our friends at U.S. Bank released their Q2 2025 Freight Payment Index on August 5th, and they're going to be releasing their Q3 Index on Thursday, October 30th. We'll be having a show probably a week or two later to dive all in. It's going to be interesting to see in this upcoming edition if the surprises we saw in Q2, including the national and across-the-board regional shipment volume increases, we'll see if all that continues. Now, it was speculated in August that those increases were perhaps the result of tariff volatility, what we were talking about a little while ago, versus true indicators of a long-awaited market turnaround. We're going to know a whole bunch more on October 30th. Now, this week is a big week for the supply chain industry, with CSCMP Edge 25 taking place in National Harbor, Maryland. I bet that's a beautiful place. Our friends at U.S. Bank will be there in booth 923. That's right. Write it down. 923. I encourage you to stop by, say hello, and learn more about how they can help you and your business. And be sure to sign up for the upcoming releases of the free U.S. Bank Freight Payment Index. Trisha's on it. She's dropping a link right there in the chat to do just that. One more thing, Rich and Kim. It's a Resource Monday. Let's talk about Easy Post. They've automated United States Postal Service claims processing to recover funds effortlessly for lost or damaged packages. I had to say that word 10 times, Kim and Rich, effortlessly. That does not roll off my tongue. It covers up to $100 in built-in insurance, right? This claims processing from Easy Post. Best of all, zero upfront cost. And Easy Post offers an industry best 90% success rate with refunds being credited directly to your account. It's easy. You can dive in to simplify your shipping and save big. Learn more at the link that Trisha is dropping right there, including easypost.com. Okay. All back now to this power panel with Rich and Kim. Rich, let's talk about orchestration for a second. And Kim, not in the way you and I talk about it oftentimes, forward orchestration. Rich was blogging the other day about orchestration more related to the reverse and returns perspective. You can find this on LinkedIn too. Rich, why is this critical?
So if you think of orchestration, some of the more common orchestration platforms you really don't consider orchestration. Airbnb is one, for instance. They match people who have houses with people who need to find a place to stay. They make sure that the house has insurance. They make it easy for the people renting to pay the people buying through a platform, and it's seamless on both sides. Uber is another orchestration platform that matches people with cars, with people that need rides, and there's ways to go through star ratings and make people feel safe. I've been vlogging a lot since, other than just posting on LinkedIn. I find that vlogging makes it more personal. There's a lot of AI out there as well that you can kind of get caught up in. So trying to speak to Gen Z and millennials in a different way than I grew up. I'm finding blogging as a way to go through and send a message that's resonating. But Recycle Global Exchange is an orchestration platform that allows people that have complex footprints to find local recyclers without having to go through and do RFPs for all kinds of different locations, get different lists in different ways, and have to go through and compile all of this ESG type of reporting. The way Recycle Global Exchange works, like if you have a whole bunch of retail stores or cell towers, or you're a hotel that has infrastructure that needs to get decommissioned, instead of going through and finding all these places, they're on the Recycle Global Exchange platform. You onboard the platform, money is exchanged through the platform, reporting is exchanged in a consistent way through the platform, and it allows you to go through and have a real impact on recycling miles. So instead of using a centralized platform where you go through and you're sending things to 2 or 3 different spots in the US, sending things 900 miles when there's a facility that might be 30 miles down the road, you can get things to their end state at a lower impact to the environment. And what I also love about this field is if you're transporting less, then typically you can go through and pay less for shipping or logistics to get it to the right spot. So it's an instant RFP, all through an orchestrated platform that allows you to go through and make sure that you're getting the best deals real time. You can see the bids that are coming in.
Nice.
You can drive things to R2 vendors if that's your love language. But you can see what is the logistical cost, what is the recovery. Can you go through and get a sort and settle or an offer on the equipment all through one platform without going through a horrific RFP process, which I lived through at Cisco and Verizon.
It sounds easy indeed. So shout out to Recycle Global Exchange. And Kim, on a greater note, orchestration, forward or reverse, it's where we are and where we should be in 2025. It's where we should have been maybe years ago. To your thoughts, Kim?
So reverse logistics has been, I worked at Nordstrom. So in Nordstrom's average return rate is about 70%. And that's shoes and tailored clothes. Like it's going to happen. And so reverse logistics, huge issue there. And yes, it's about time that we get some visibility and some optimization into managing that reverse logistics. Because if you are, if we take Nordstrom as an example, or any luxury retailer, you have about 4 weeks to sell your product at full price because you have 4 inventory turns a year. So you have about 4 to 6 weeks to get a full price out of that. If your reverse logistics is taking 10, guess what?
No bueno.
No bueno.
Kim, I love that. And I can't wait to your book. You got to write a book on your time at Amazon and Nordstrom. And Rich, you too, at Cisco and Verizon. But
I did.
Oh, that's right.
It did.
That's right. I got a copy. What am I thinking? Orchestration, though. I'm going to be talking about this in Vegas, actually with Richard soon this week. And Rich, I love your example of Airbnb, right? Get folks on the same platform, right? Eliminate the need for one-off emails or spreadsheets or all that stuff. In many cases, eliminate the need to even make a decision. Let's let technology make some of the complex and some of the simple decisions and save and create time for the beautiful human element. So if you're not getting the orchestration from one of the great providers in this golden age of supply chain tech, look into it today. Your team will be very grateful. Let's see here. Nadeem, great to see you today via LinkedIn. I always love having you on the buzz. He was calling out the Easy Post Guard. Nice idea. Hey, Nadeem, I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. That's above my pay grade, my friend, but great to have you here today. All right, Rich, let's see here. Where are we going next here? I think I want to talk about, okay. I'm checking my clock, see how much time we got, because Kim and Rich, this could be an hour or more. So Rich, the TikTok version of More Returns. Tell us why. When we got together at early private leadership event, you and I, we got an interview coming out soon, and you made a great case for more returns. Why is this such a big opportunity?
Yeah, it's a misnomer. Actually, the textbook that was used when I got my master's degree program was called Going Backwards. It was written in 1999, and it was this premise that all returns are bad, and you want to try to drive them down. If you sell something, you really don't want to have to return it and give someone their money back. So the whole linear sales process led to linear returns, where things were going back to the source, and goal was to beat them down. The barrier to the circular economy is the success of the linear economy, because in a circular economy, there's some return programs that you actually want to drive up. Think of trade-in. When I started Verizon's trade-in program, giving someone $100 for their old thing to help spend on the next new thing, it helps sell more new things faster. You want to sell more things. So giving people money in their pocket was a good thing. And then when I took that product that I paid $100 for and I sent it to the right place, I got paid a profit for going through and sending it to the right place. So it was a new revenue stream. So these circle programs like trade-in, lease, product as a service are actually designed to go through and get the product back into the hands of someone that can go through and provide value. And there's competition for getting a used product. Think of the car industry, where you want to sell new cars and you have a used car dealership, and the more money you get for your used car, the more you'll spend on your next new car. Then on the used car, you can sell warranty and finance. You can make profit on the car. Now, there was a study from ThreadUp that over 70% of Gen Z are checking the resale value of their clothing before they buy it, because they realize that the clothing isn't just the dollar purchase out. They're thinking of it as a net purchase. So if I spend $100 on a thing and I can get $30 back at the end of the season, Well, then I'm only spending $70 on it.
Right.
And what used to be relevant in retail and automotive, two really successful circular economies that no one calls circular, moved into mobility. Now it's down to there's a company I talked to earlier this week on my podcast, usedcardboardboxes.com, that are actually going through and taking used cardboard back, baling it, and selling the cardboard at a lower rate.
I like it.
So if it could be done with packaging, it could be done with anything.
I love it. All right. So, Kim, more returns. My hunch, and I'm not a reverse management returns management pro, right? That's not where I spent my time as a practitioner. But my hunch would be, depending on the model, more returns might be great. And in other cases, more returns might not be so great. Your thoughts, Kim?
Yeah, I think, what Rich is talking about is a reuse model. So trading in a product that I've used, that I now no longer have purpose for. And so I can resell it or what have you. And those are great. I have made my case for buying secondhand. I'm a huge secondhand buyer, and I love it. But that's different than returns. So returns cost a lot of money when we talk about it in a retail perspective. And that's why companies are always trying to drive them down. And there's two things that happen when we have a return. One, the product is not sellable while it's in its return state, while it's in logistics. And that's a lost opportunity. And second, the product does not always come back in 100% immaculate condition. So it could be quote unquote shop worn. It could not look new. And that may affect its ability to be resold. So those are the two big drivers for like retail and e-commerce companies are trying to reduce returns. And you will notice that more like Amazon is more and more trying to be like, hey, if we only return half of the cost, you want to keep it. And what that is a reflection of the cost for us to bring this product back to our facility outweighs the profit that we're going to make it when we get it back. So if we offer you that product, will you keep it? Because it's actually cheaper for us.
Yeah, the way that I've heard this phrase is you've got a linear return model, $890 billion given back. You want to try to go through and change your policies, introduce best practices to take that $890 billion down. Putting seals on shoes so people can try them on without wearing them and introducing wear is a change to how products are being made and shipped. Or warranty type of programs. If something breaks, figuring out how to go through and solve the root cause failure so that doesn't happen. Linear return management is still very much needed. And it's talked about in all things circular, where you want to try to drive them down. And then your circular return program, circular sales, circular finance to drive them up. Modern reverse logisticians need to work both in the linear world and in the circular world, because assessing what does something look like and how does it function to prepare it for its next life is a discipline needed in both linear and circular returns.
Yep.
Scott, we lost you.
It's because I'm on mute. See, I was saying some bad words. And now, why do I have a sneaking suspicion that Rich and Kim we'd be here for hours talking about these big topics and big opportunities. We're going to have y'all both back. We're going to have a fast and furious finish, though. I'm going to start with T Squared's comment. Customer input would definitely help in the realm of reverse logistics, particularly in finding out my products are being returned, barring planned obsolescence and no longer wanting the products. Good stuff there, T Squared. All right, fast and furious finish begins now. I want to start with all things circular. Rich, launched, you've been at it for a while, launched a new website a few weeks back. Give us an example or two of some of the work you've been doing really quick.
Yeah, Kim, you were talking about a rebranding. All Things Circular was initially started as a podcast. My co-host, Vic D'Arcy, who's from the UK, we worked together at Cisco. She ran their reuse type of department. I fed inventory to her. We've got a female British European personality. I've got the US male-driven personality. I like to say that Vic taught me angry British. We have a lively talk between the two of us, but we just launched our 30-second episode. We've got 50 that are recorded just to go through and have a place where we can talk about best practices for circular programs across a variety of industries and a variety of geographies. That has moved into a master class that Dr. Peter Evans, he's got a PhD from MIT, and I have taught in 6 different countries, 13 different times. We've got new shows that are added every day. We're doing some corporate work, doing specific strategy sessions. And that's also led into our advisory work, where we help companies find how to build a strategy for their second, third, and fourth customer, how to leverage AI and ML, doing some really good work through a company called tallgrass.ai, optimizing repair supply chains. You're seeing some vlogs of me going to the Philippines and Poland to go through and find out how to keep motherboards in circulation. So really, what started as a podcast has turned into a business consultancy, education, thought leadership platform. Peter's wrote several amazing white papers. So check out www.allthingscircular.com, and you'll see the great things that we have going on.
Outstanding. Trisha is Johnny on the spot. We're dropping that link right there. Joshua, who I don't think I can, maybe for this conversation, I'm not going to mention. Joshua is at a big time e-commerce player, former U.S. Army as well. Joshua says, I really appreciate the insight. Thank you all. Joshua, hope this finds you well down in Savannah. All right, Kim, let's see here. I want to talk about, as we start to wrap, I'm going to get a highlight from both of y'all on your podcast, and then we're going to make sure we know everyone can connect, how to connect with everybody. Rich kind of already shared his, but Kim, you've been cranking out. You've surpassed 100 episodes, almost 1,000, 100 episodes, which is a big milestone. Most podcasts, millions and millions of podcasts don't get past episode 10. Kim, what's one of your favorite recent episodes of The Morning Mood, soon to be renamed, I think, right?
Soon to be renamed. And I just want to give a shout out to you that you have supported me with my podcast. And I very much appreciate that. And you are the one that taught me that 10 was the match. If you could get to 10, you had a shot. And I was like, all right. And I got to 10. I was like, okay, now let's do 100. So thank you for that. They're all great, but I think the one that got a lot of traction recently and ruffled a couple feathers was I gave my thoughts on what I think is going to happen with the steamship lines and how if they keep continuing the way that they're doing. And I think I can sum that up in saying, take a look at FedEx, DHL, and UPS.
Right. And, you know, if you're not, Kim always brings it and she always keeps it real. And you can find The Morning Mood right there, the link. And when it renames, the link still works, I believe, just fine. So check that out. You can check out the episode Kim just touched on. And we're also including Kim's LinkedIn. You'll see lots of snippets and snackables, you name it, on LinkedIn. So follow or connect with her there. But folks, all that to say, if we're not ruffling some feathers, we're not probably talking about the right things, is my hunch, right? And we can ruffle feathers respectfully, right? And actually make progress with folks that don't view things the same way. But regardless, you know, there's an old saying, Kim and Rich, y'all probably have heard it. I think it dates back from World War II and the old B-17 bombers that went out on missions. When you're getting flak, that means you're getting close to being
close to the target.
Right, Kim?
I haven't heard that in forever. That's a good one.
Just so apropos. All right, Rich, same question for you. We're kind of running out of time here. There's so much more I want to pose to both of y'all. But Rich, how can folks track you down? You mentioned a URL. They can find All Things Circular Podcast wherever they get their podcasts. You got master classes. You go out and talk around the globe. How can folks track you down, Rich?
Yeah, my love language is LinkedIn. So they shared LinkedIn. You know how to find me personally. We have All Things Circular also available on LinkedIn. We've got a huge episode coming up with Shahryar Ramadi, the CEO of Reconnext, coming live on October 22nd. That I'm super excited about. Very passionate individual. We talk about AI with human in the loop. We talk about automated grading. We talk about finding the second, third, and fourth customer, automated disposition. And one of my favorite things is we also talk about a common myth that we like to bust. And his was inertia isn't a strategy. You've got to have a critical, curious, and data-driven approach. Look for that specific episode because his passion for his daughter, his passion for his employees and education is very inspiring and worth a watch.
Rich, love that. You know what? We're going to, as soon as that podcast publishes, shoot it over our way. We're going to make sure our audience gets that one. And Kim, we're going to get that steamship episode and do the same because y'all both are creating the types of conversations we need to be having and learning from out in industry. It's been a pleasure to be with you both here today. Felicia, one more quick comment here. So Felicia shares, this might be too big. Yeah, I don't want to cut Rich off. Felicia says
I'm
a
sure
little,
people.
a little late in the conversation, but in reference to high school curriculum, CTIA is partnering with IRISQ and Operation Breakthrough's Ignition Lab to develop a unique curriculum that equips students with the skills to diagnose and repair Chromebook hardware. That is outstanding. And she's got a link to that. So folks, find Felicia right here and check out that link. If programs like this appeal to you, they appeal to me. That and the Philadelphia program Kim was talking about. And of course, a lot of the professional development opportunities that Rich and the All Things Circular crew are putting out there. Good stuff. Okay. As we wrap today, a jam-packed edition of The Buzz. Of an edition that needs a second hour, and no one has time for a second hour, 2-hour-long podcast. But I would invest the time today with Rich and Kim. But I want to thank our guest, Rich Bulger, with All Things Circular. Rich, always a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate the invitation.
You bet. And Kim Reuter of The Morning Mood. You can go check that out on YouTube. Kim, appreciate all the great work you're doing, including in our seafood industry, helping probably independent businesses find more success and profitability and new products, you name it.
Hopefully we can talk about it the next time I'm on. Like we'll have our website up and
outstanding. I look forward to that. And we'll bring on one of those oyster farmers too. We talked about that before.
We're talking about that. We're going to do that.
We are going to do that. So big thanks to Rich and Kim. Big thanks to Amanda and Tricia behind the scenes, making production happen. Really appreciate that. Thanks for all, most importantly, thanks to all of y'all that tuned in today. You're listening, you're watching, you're commenting, you name it. I know we couldn't hit everybody's comments or questions, but really appreciate y'all making the Buzz part of your weekly schedule. So one last thing though, folks, you got homework. Kim and Rich brought it here today, as we knew they would. You got to take one thing you heard here from one of these leaders here today, put it into practice, share it with your team, do something with it. Deeds, not words. That's how we're going to keep transforming global supply chain forward and reverse, Rich, forward and reverse. With all that said, on behalf of the entire Supply Chain Now team, Scott Luton challenges you to do good, give forward, be the change that's needed. We'll see you next time right back here on Supply Chain Now. Thanks, everybody.